pledge your allegiance.
We gon' run this town.
What's up, everybody? Hopefully y'all can hear me. Hopefully you're all having a great night out there tonight. No Ashley again. She asked, I know what you're thinking. Where'd I bury her? But I'm here to say, clear the air. That's not the case. She just had a bad, last week she was sick, and then this week she had to get a tooth pulled and an implant put in, and that was earlier this afternoon. So she's probably sleeping right now, so couldn't have her on. But anyways, it's gonna be pretty loud tonight. We're gonna be using the air sander tonight and prepping some things. Kind of let you guys know what it takes in order to take these paint jobs, build up, clean everything, sand everything as needed. The nice thing about this particular job that we're doing is one of the fenders is bare metal. We have the two tank halves because it's a split tank. Both of those one has a little bit of damage to it, stock Harley paint, so you'll be able to see how to prep that and how to take care of that damage. And then on the other fender, it looks like it has spray paint on it, has some damage as well. So we're going to be able to learn a few things there too as well. So we'll talk more about that and get into that. Who do we got here? Dorcosaurus, first one online. Woody, Rob, Rod, Mr. C, what's up? Thanks everybody. Hit that like button. Thank you. Lewis, Wade, Charlie, Steven, what's up, guys? Hi, folk. One thing I wanted to mention to you guys real quick. We did start. We actually just launched it yesterday. We do have an affiliate program, and I think I can actually show this to you just real quick before we get into everything. Okay, so it looks like I can go ahead and show that. So if you go to our website here, it does show it. There we go. If you go to our website here, limelinepaintsupply.com. So that's basically just this website right here where you can buy everything. If you go up to the top here, there is a new link here. That's the affiliate program. If you click on that, okay, that lets me do that. There we go. This allows you to sign up. Now, right now we have open enrollment. So you can go ahead and just click here, join now. And what this does is this is going to allow you to, it's going to give you a custom link. So anybody that comes to the limelinepaintsupply.com website, you're eligible to earn up to 10% commissions on anybody that's using that link. And it's not on just that particular product. It's actually on their whole purchase. This is up and going, like I said, a couple of days now. A few people have been using it. It's been working for them. But if you have any questions, let me know. This is pretty self-explanatory. You just go in there, you can kind of read it over, and it makes sense. Super easy platform to work through. So this will be a way to be able to use the Limeline products and be able to earn some cash, by being a affiliate. So, all right, let's enough of that. Stop screen. Cool. All right, let's go full screen here. Hopefully we get that all. Okay. All right. So a little bit of the products that we'll be using. We'll be using the 600 grit sanding sponges. We'll be using 80 grit, 180 grit, and 400 grit. And there's a chance that sometimes we would use 600 grit in this stage, but mostly it's these heavier grits that we're going to use because we're prepping everything. We're pulling paint off. We're smoothing things out. So these more aggressive sandpapers is what you're going to need. So 80 grit, 180, 400 grit. We have a DA sander here. Basically just plugs into, I have a 2-stage compressor down there. You definitely have, and I get this question a lot about compressors, definitely having a 2-stage pump compressor to run tools like these and to keep them running without running out of air, you really need that 2-stage. We're going to be using some panel prep, a lot of this, because we need to make sure these parts are super clean. That metal fender I know has a lot of grease on it that we need to pull off before we do any kind of sanding. We got glass cleaner, and then we have some 3M adhesive remover. So you notice there's a couple stickers and stuff on there that we need to pull off. You can also use lacquer thinner. So adhesion, that actually works a little better. Just to let you guys know, the sander has been out of stock. If you look tomorrow, the sander will be back in stock. Like I said, tomorrow. So we got those back and going. If you guys have any questions, kind of like last week, since we didn't have Ashley, just if you have any questions, write them down so you don't forget, and then ask them at the end, and I'll go ahead and see what I can answer on that. Okay. Let's go over the parts that we're going to be prepping today. So first thing, we have an aftermarket. Pretty sure it's Clockworks fender. You see that? Okay, there we go. All right, so a little bit of surface rust. A little bit of surface rust. Not really. I wouldn't even call it surface rust. We want to definitely get that cleaned up. It's a little oily and greasy up into there. If you don't get this cleaned up good enough, you're definitely going to have issues with adhesion, especially up in those will that'll shrink out and then just does not hold up. All right, this is the unfortunate front fender. This is pretty much the way I don't like to get them. This thing has body. It's definitely been spray painted. It has some damage right now. Oh, yeah, it's definitely been spray painted. So what I did is I put, in order to test this to see if this paint was good or not, I put some lacquer thinner on a rag and I just laid it on there, and you could see what it did. It wrinkled right up. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and 80 grit this. It looks pretty deep right there. So if you ever get a part this is a good case and a good I can give you a good explanation on what to do in this case. If you ever have anything that's spray painted like this is what's going to happen underneath your paint. People, they'll do maybe a 1K spray paint primer, but once again, it's not chemically hardened where it can hold up to solvent like that. So just by that rag being on there for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, caused it to stiffen up. So that tells us that all of the black paint that's on here needs to come off, because what that's going to do is that's going to cause us problems down the road. I'm going to take some 80 grit to this with the DA sander. We're going to see how it comes off. This is probably a good candidate just to take it and drop it off somewhere to get it sandblasted. We do have body damage right here anyways. And then they spray painted all up into here too. So all that just needs to come off. But you could put the elbow grease into this, 80 grit it all, get up into the edges, clean it up. I'll kind of show you on what I would do, but I'm most likely going to send this to the sandblock. It's just more work than what I would want to do with a sander. Okay, we have two splits in right here. We'll end up doing one of them, and I'll save the other one, and we'll just do. Once we do one, you'll know how it's done. But these are just stock party tanks. Even though there is massive logos underneath here, This is a better case scenario than what that spray painted fender is over there. That's going to cause us serious problems. This is also a lot of work as well to be able to get this out using 80 grit. You could also take this maybe to the sandblaster too. I feel like getting that out is not too bad. But I'll show you what I do in order to, we have to get the decal completely out. We don't want to leave it up underneath the clear coat. So we'll be burning all the way through into metal right here, feathering it out, and then we'll assess some of the damage here. It looks like something was done here. It looks like we probably do have more spray paint, possibly right here, because it looks like they had an accident, and then some kind of a little bit of a repair here. Not sure what's going on. Sander's going to knock all that off, and we're going to see what's up. Another thing is, let's go ahead and let's pull this one off. If you look right here, and this is an issue that comes up a lot. This has been cleared over previously, over some other clear, but the fuel has had a chance to get up under there and eat away at that top layer of clear coat. The reason being is these seals aren't the greatest. The newer style of bungs that Harley Davidson has a little lip right here that we're able to tape up to, and it kind of falls into that lip, and usually you don't have any issues. But with these caps, you have to make sure that they're sealing correctly. And I mean, all you can see right here that this is all, yeah, definitely that's fallen off of there. So that's the cracks right there. You don't want to put these old caps with these old seals on a brand new paint job. So keep that in mind. Let your customer know, especially if you see issues like this. But this will definitely, you want to replace this before you go running this thing, putting gas in it. All right, we'll go ahead and let's start with the one that's raw metal first. That's the easiest. Go ahead and put these off to the side. Okay, first things first. Before we even touch this thing with sandpaper or anything, you are going to want to make sure that it's clean, because what's going to happen is if you have any kind of grime or oil or anything, that a lot of times these are packed in some kind of an oil to keep it from doing this. You got to make sure you get all that off. Wax and grease remover, this panel prep that I'm going to use here, we'll clean this a couple of times. We'll scuff it down, and then that's pretty much it. This is going to be the easiest one to get this ready to go into the booth for epoxy primer. I'm just going to give everything a good coat. You can see all that that's pulling off there. You gotta make sure you get this all the way off too. Okay. Go ahead and do the underside. Yeah. I do. Okay, let me see if I can fix it. Let's see. Okay, hopefully that fixed it. Hey guys, sorry about that echo. Hopefully it's not still there. I think I got it taken care of. All right, we got that all cleaned up. Let me double check this. Wow, that stuff's strong. All right, guys, let me know if you can hear me now. I'm trying to get to the end of these comments. Oh, sounds good now. Thanks, Dorkosaurus. Woo. Okay. All's good. Sorry about the echo. Let's get this back up here. Okay, we got both sides cleaned. So we got the Limeline 6-inch DA sander here. This one's brand new. Grab that. Well, I thought I had a interface pad. Let's see here. Out there. Okay, we'll go for it without it. All right, we'll take the 80 grit. We could actually. Okay, so you can see the 80 grit there. I'm actually just changed my mind. I might actually go with the 180. Because really there's no reason to put that deep of scratches into that metal. 180 is going to work great. The 80 grit's going to work good for getting those decals out. Okay, we'll hook that right there. So these are just like a Velcro. You see, hook it style design. Take the air source, hook it right up. You can see as these actually also oscillate, so they don't only spin. They also rotate like that as well. You see how that works. All right, 180 grit. All right, flip it around. And go ahead and adjust the speed here. So if you look close, you can see the etch that it's putting into that metal. You can see that's where I've done it, and that's where it's just bare metal. So we need to make sure we get everything to that to make sure it has good adhesion. Is this necessary? I don't know. With epoxy primer, maybe not. It's a good thing. So do it. It cleans up the metal, gets off a little bit of that surface rust on there. Okay. That one sheet did the whole thing. It did start to wear out, so this is pretty well worn out by now. So we would throw it out, change it out, but we're good. We'll go ahead and take a sanding sponge, and these are equivalent to 600 grit. I just like to hit it with one of these to kind of make all the scratches uniform. Now, if you don't have an air sander and you're just prepping bare metal like this, using hand sanding pads like this would be just fine. When it comes to what we're going to be doing up here in a second, you pretty much need that air sander. Make sure you're getting the 6-inch though. The 6-inch is what is standard in the automotive. Okay, and then I'm just gonna kind of hit up underneath as well. Look good. Before we put this back, we'll go ahead and clean it again. So back with the panel prep. I believe the inside first this time. Want to make sure you grab a brand new towel or rag. You don't want to use the same one you used the last time you cleaned it. All right. Go ahead and get that cleaned up. You can see how much we pulled out from underneath there. Okay, all good there. I'm just going to clean the top. All right, guys. Hopefully I kind of fixed that. We'll get a little bit better video quality there. All right. That turned out really nice. So that right there is ready to go into the booth for epoxy primer. We'll go ahead and wait for the rest of these to catch up, obviously. So we'll set this off to the side. That's ready to go. All right, let's go ahead and grab this tank right here. So this is just a stock painted Harley Davidson tank with stock decals. A little bit of damage. Looks a little bit of a repair here. Here's the damage. But basically, we need to get this decal all the way out. The way we're going to do that is use 80 grit. We'll go ahead and leave the cap on for right now while we work on that. But we'll get that out first, right after we clean it. As you can see here, it looks like it has some kind of a pad here. We're going to take that off. We don't want to have to paint over all that. It'll look terrible if we do that. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that one. Maybe okay. Other thing is there is these little rubber bushings. We need to pull those out as well. This one can stay. That'll protect this guy right here. That'll protect the fuel line right there. I'll also probably not sure what we'll do about that. I'll go ahead and sand around that for now. Maybe I'll end up, if I tape that up, it'll probably end up, we'll see what we'll do, but I'm not going to take that off, but we'll go ahead and leave that. All right, sorry about that, guys. Hopefully y'all can see better now. Okay, earlier I did pull out the 80 grit. You can see how much more rough the 80 grit is. There also is like a 36 grit, 32 grit, something like that. I feel like this is the most aggressive that you would need to go. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and pull off the 180. Have the 80 grit. And there we go. We'll just go ahead. Make sure we have enough air going here. Let's get rid of this thing. Okay. I think we got it all a little bit, maybe a little bit where the damage is. Let's get. Yeah, so you can see how much different so there was a little bit of spray paint sprayed right there as well. And the reason why I know it is because if you look real close, you can smell it. It's just smearing when I go to sand it. It's a really tough thing to work with. That's what I'm saying. It's like a lot of times spray paint, you can't even really even sand it off because it wants to re-wet. Just a little bit here, so we'll go ahead and work on it and get it out of here. Sorry about that. All right, looking good. Got all that cleaned up. It's looking good. Let's go ahead and pull off. There we go. We'll go ahead and pull out these rubber grommets here, as well as use a screwdriver. Looks like these are pretty brittle, so you got to be super careful. Okay, there's that one. You see they just slip right in here. We'll leave this one, like I said, because that will help protect that fuel nozzle there. We also got one right here. Okay, and I think that's it. Yep. All right, let's go ahead and we'll cap off. That cleaned off. We'll go ahead and I probably should have rinse this up a little bit. I probably should have cleaned this actually before I sanded on that. Actually, kind of made a little bit of a mistake. So how I sanded this right here. I probably should have cleaned it beforehand. No big deal. Let's get it clean now. Panel prep. Okay. Looking good. So since we have the cap off now, we need to protect the inside of this tank so no sanding residue and stuff goes in there. We want to make sure that we tape this up temporarily to keep stuff from falling into the tank because we don't want anything going in there. Okay, cool. Got that. I'm going to go ahead and move back to the 180. I feel like the 80 grit is going to be a little too aggressive, even though we do need to get into here to take care of where this is chipping and get that feathered out. We need to make sure that that feathers out all the way to where it stops chipping. Okay, 180 grit. I always like to feel the ends, feel with my hand to see if there's any chips that I missed. Feeling good so far. Okay, right here we have, I know this is not really seen. You can't really see this once the tank's on, and then yeah, maybe something else, but it's so destroyed here and not sticking that I just don't even feel comfortable painting on that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pull it off because it's coming off so easy. I thought I was gonna need adhesive remover, but it's actually coming up really easy. There we go. Now we can get that cleaned up, looking better. We're gonna go ahead and get rid of this 41 too. Let's grab that remover and we'll soak it. We'll take this, and this is just general purpose adhesive cleaner, adhesive remover out of a can. You also probably seen this in the quart bottle too, tin can. I like it in this. We'll let that soak for a little bit. All right, let's sand the rest of that out. I'll maybe put a new piece on there. We're gonna get a little more aggressive with that. We'll throw some 80 grit on. Okay, we got that all the way out of there. No problem. A little more. Okay. Looking good. So yeah, this is on the inside of the tank, on the where this would bolt to the inside. The thing is with mail order parts, when customers are either dropping off their parts to you and they're reinstalling them, or they're taking them off and sending them to you and you're sending them back. The difference is you need to, and this is my opinion, you need to make sure that you paint all the insides, because since they're pulling it out of a box and they're going to be looking at all of it. They're going to be looking at, obviously the money area here, but they're going to look at all of it. They're going to spin it around. We need to make sure that we get everything in here evenly coated, everything looking good, even though it's not all visible. And if you are putting the bike together, like if you're pulling the parts off and you're painting them and then putting them back together, you can get away with a little more, as far as the inside. You could even maybe get away with not painting it at all. It all kind of depends on what you want to do, but since just keep that in mind. Since this is a mail order, they're going to be taking this out of the box, looking at it, spinning it around, and seeing what they think. They're going to judge it all the way around. So that's what we got to do. Same thing with the fenders. We need to paint them inside and out, underneath the brackets and everything. Okay, let's go. Let me see how that got really gummed up there. Back to the 180. We could be using an interface pad. I don't know why I don't have one here. I was looking around. You can use an interface pad that this sticks to, that gives a little more cushion here. That way it forms to the contour of the part. I'll have one next time we sand, which will be next week. Once again, working around this edge where there was that paint pill, and then blending it out to where you can't feel an edge. See these rock chips right here? Same thing as you'll always find rock chips on these older bikes up in the front of the tank. You see there's two of them right here. We need to make sure that we take the 180 grit. You can see that right there. That one's just a tiny little dent. By the time we primer it, that's going to be gone. But you can see that's definitely needs to be done. You can't just leave that. Okay, I got the majority of it done. As you can see, we still have, problems here. I mean, we didn't get rid of the dent. The dent's obviously still there. We'll go ahead and address that at a later time. These will get put into epoxy primer. Before we even fix the damage, they'll get put into epoxy primer, and then we'll skim this with just a little bit of body filler over the top. That way that body filler can be sandwiched in between the epoxy primer and the sandable primer that we'll put on the top. And that's really the bulletproof way to do things, especially when you're getting all the way down to bare metal like we are here. Okay, let's just unplug that. Take a sanding sponge. And once again, we're just going to kind of go over everything. We're going to hit those areas that we weren't able to get into with the DA sander. Like up into this edge right here. You need to make sure that it's all sanded. Can't leave any of it glossy. Paint won't stick. These sanding sponges are great for like getting up in these little areas where the mounts are. Get up underneath here. Just like that. There we go. All right. Okay, looking good. We'll go ahead and get this cleaned up. Panel prep it again. Make sure it's nice and clean. One more, a little cleaner one. There we go. Okay. I think we got it all cleaned up. Well, that's it. That's how you address a tank. And a lot of Harley tanks are actually like this. They'll have a buried decal. Either that or they may have a metal badge that's on the outside. But with the decals, you do need to sand them out all the way. Usually you have to get to bare metal in order to get to there. So that's why we sanded that down. Obviously, we took care of, there's a little problem still right here. Let's see. See it there. See, everything else is kind of blended out. So you can't feel that. And then right when you get right there, you can feel that little chip that I missed. So what I'll do, I just grab a little bit by hand. Okay, there we go. Now I can't feel it. Perfect. Okay, that's what we're looking for. My old instructor used to always tell me that, just by taking your hand, closing your eyes, feeling just like that, that's where you can and feel your problems. But we'll address the little bit of dents and stuff that we have in this. But like I said, we're gonna bury it in epoxy primer first to protect the metal, make this a really bulletproof paint job. Okay, good to go on that. All right, let's take this last one. Okay, like I said, this is not how you want to get them. The spray paint's pretty thick on here. You can tell by how much it wrinkled up. So I did the test with a little bit of lacquer thinner, put lacquer thinner onto a rag, laid it on there, and then if it's a 2K hardened primer or clear coat, anything that's part A and part B, that lacquer thinner shouldn't bother it. Not to say it wouldn't dull it out, maybe so, but it's not going to cause it to do this, which is re-wet. There's a whole reason why 2K parts, two component parts, or part A and part B, is so they can chemically harden, so that these chemicals like gasoline and other things can't hurt them because they're chemically hardened. They're hardened because there's a part A, a part B, there's a chemistry to it that makes those harden no matter what. So as long as they're mixed right. With spray paint, one part spray paint, or any kind of one part paint or primer, it's going to do this. It's not going to hold up. So if you say like you spray paint some primer down and it's just a one part, you could get a reaction like this. Not saying you would. With spray paint, you most likely would. If I was to paint this, say just scuff this down, even though it's pretty smooth. If I was just to scuff this spray paint down, put black base over it, candy it, or metal flake it, get all the designs done. Most likely, what's going to happen is maybe not even immediately, but sooner or later, this paint is going to start moving and flexing because it's not chemically hardened, and it's going to come back and split the paint. Is what's a good chance of what is going to happen. So you'll get big like splits in your paint because your outside of your paint just can't handle it. If the underneath of your paint job, the body work, the prep work is moving and getting bothered, then it's going to affect the outer part of the paint job. The only thing that's an exception to that is base coats. Base coats are really thin. They're applied, and they lay out really thin. There's not much to them. So there is some base coat hardeners. We don't use them in custom paint because we don't want to have issues with spraying on top of hardened paint, which poses other problems by itself. So, okay, enough of that. Let's go ahead. We're going to put a sander on this. We're going to see what it's like, how much work it is. There's a good chance I'm not going to finish it, though. We'll probably send this out to a sandblaster. The nice thing about these Velcro is if you don't use them all up, you can always save them. Okay, so we're going to use 80 grit. All right, can you see what's happening here? It's just balling up, and you can see what it's doing to the pad as well. And I could spend a lot of time on this and a whole lot of sandpaper, but really, it's just not even going to get into the insides like I need to be able to get into. So this is a good candidate to sublet this out to a sandblaster, or if you have a cabinet, you could throw this in a cabinet and blast it yourself. The spray paint is harder to sandblast, so if you have like a cheap Harbor Freighter and you care about your time, then it's going to take you forever to get through this spray paint because it's just It's kind of soft. It just wants to kind of bounce off of it. So yeah, really. Let's see what it looks like over here in the corner. Doesn't look as bad. Yeah, wow, there's a lot of paint on that. Yep, there's a lot of paint on that. So this is definitely going to have to hit the sandblaster. Hopefully he can get to it pretty soon. But like I said, there's also a couple of dents in here that we will address later. There's one right on the top here that dents in. Instead of filling that with putty, we're definitely going to do some body work under here and end up pushing this out. So we'll use a hammer and dolly most likely and just pound that out. And then yes, a little bit of filler we're gonna have to use. But unfortunately, I just don't want to go any farther with this particular fender with this process. So sandblaster, it will go. All right, we're going to go ahead and spin that wheel. I haven't spun the wheel yet. We're going to spin it twice. You guys are going to win something. So go ahead and hashtag lime into the comments if you haven't already done that. Hit the like button if you would. Whew, it's warm. Okay, hopefully y'all can hear me. I'm not double talking here. Let me see if I can. Okay, here we go. All right, you guys have any questions? I'll go ahead and answer them now, but let's go ahead and spin that wheel. Here's the free stuff. Okay, lime into the comments, guys. Okay, 114 entries. Let's go. Hi, Folk. Hey, there's a name I know. What's up, brother? Oh, by the way, what you're winning, we're going to go ahead and do another mystery pack. I actually enjoyed sending those last ones out. Just getting to decide what to put in there. So, yeah, you probably end up with more stuff doing it that way anyway. So, let us know that you won. Hi, Folk. We're gonna draw another one here, so don't go anywhere. Yeah, info at limelinepaintsupply.com. Let us know that you won, and then I'll make you up a package. It's a surprise. All right, let's do this one more time. Okay, we'll draw those. Andrew Schmidt. Congratulations. Just go ahead and shoot us an email at info@limelinepaintsupply.com. Let us know if you want paint supplies or if you want a t-shirt. And if you want the t-shirt, just let us know what size and we can do that for you as well. So if you're not interested in having paint supplies, we can hook you up with a t-shirt or a hoodie. Well, I don't know if it's a hoodie, a sweater. Let us know what you want. All right. Any questions? Let's see. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in now and I can read them. Yeah. Feed Big A says, I've spent the last 2 days sanding and using filler on a set of Harley tins. I have a newfound respect for painters. It is. It's all really in the prep work as well. It's not too hard. It does take a little bit of time. Once you learn that when you lay out body filler, sometimes you need to let it dry and do another coat over the top. It's not as big of a deal. A lot of people just think they can do it all in one swipe. That's not always the case. How long before your glamour clear can be cut and buffed? So really, it's just 24 hours. If you're at 72 degrees or so, is all you need. You don't want to wait longer than like a week and a half. The clear coat will start to get really hard, and it's tougher to buff out. Just as easy to sand, tougher to buff out though. Not saying you can't do it. All right, doesn't look like we have very many questions. Is JB Weld a good product to seal around the gas bung? I would not do that. Nope, I've heard of people doing that. JB Weld doesn't hold up to fuel either, as far as I know, even though it is a two-part. The best case scenario on this is we're just going to tape it up good. Make sure the customer knows he needs new fuel caps. But yeah, I don't think that would. If you already have a problem with paint peeling, maybe. But if you don't have any problem with it, I would not do that. Adam, John Sabia, what about using paint stripper? You can use paint stripper. Yes, on stock Harley parts, you would be better off just sanding them down like we've done here and then bringing them back up. We can keep a lot of those factory primers. The thing is with paint strippers, sometimes you can get a little bit of residue like left over in some of the corners, like in some of the mounts will get a little bit left up in there, and they'll come back to haunt you later. So I actually prefer never to use paint stripper unless it's been like this, being spray paint stripper actually would work. Once again, like I said, it's really hard to get all that off. I would actually prefer to sandblast, but that is an option on stuff that's spray painted or excessive paint build. Something that's just really hard to sand off or to blast off, then that would be a good candidate for stripping it off with some kind of chemical. All right. If you guys have any questions down here, I will look it over and then we'll finish this up here. After painting a tank and fender with base coat, how long can you let it sit without clear coat? Very good question. It all depends on the paint that you're using. Everybody says it's a little different. Maybe it's the chemicals, or maybe people have a different opinion. But usually it's 3 days to a week. However, I would say you're safe within a 2-week range. I always have been, but as far as manufacturers say, a lot of them do say coat your base coat within 3 days, or some of them are up to a week. Some are even up to 2 weeks. Kind of depends on the line, the manufacturer. So you might want to check with that. Don't let them sit forever. Like I've let stuff sit for 2 and 3 weeks, never had an issue. But I've also let stuff sit for 2 or 3 months, and I did have issues. Very rarely have I ever had issues within the 20 years I've been painting that I have. Basically, it's delamination is what happens at that point. The base coat is no longer accepting the clear coat to chemically adhere. Yeah, be sure to thank Ashley twice for coming out and save you guys. Yeah, Well, it does make a difference when she's here, that's for sure. It's hard to run both of these things. Is there a chart that indicates which brands are compatible with each other? There isn't. You'll never see anything like that. But if you are working with like a solvent-based paint, urethane paints, a lot of these manufacturers or a lot of these brands, these companies are getting the product from the same place, just like I am. They're coming from one of 3 to 4 different places, and then they get sold off and they do different things. So a lot of these are compatible. I know that DuPont is one or Valspar is one that's quite a bit different. I know their reducer will cause like regular solvent paint to like coagulate. It doesn't work out. So I think the Valspar is the only kind of outlier. Obviously, when you get into waterborne paints, none of that's going to mix with a solvent-based paint. Yeah, it's if you don't know if they're going to work, just mix a little bit up and see. You'll know immediately. But really, a lot of these, what we're getting is all from the same place. Okay. Okay, I think that's it. I don't see any other questions unless any come in. All right, nope, that's good. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all being here. Hopefully we get Ashley back next week and have less problems. All right, guys. Thanks again. Appreciate you being here, and congratulations to those winners. Send me an email. Take it easy.